Hi, I'm Marcela Avelina.
I thought if I could just keep focusing on you, things could be different.
It's time for Grand Army to start calling it like it is.
I play Flora in Grand Army, and she is a senior at Grand Army, and she's in a relationship with Sid. And she's super smart and ambitious and vulnerable. And I got the part, I was in Slut the play, which is what Grand Army is based on. It's kind of an expanded universe based off of Slut. And I was in the original cast of Slut the play by Katie Cappiello. And I knew that Katie had been working on the series, and then last spring she had a table read, and she had kind of a bunch of old students and people in her circle come and read the full script. And I was a part of that table read. But I actually didn't read for Flora, and Flora at the time was written differently. But I was at the reading, and I was just happy to be there because Katie Cappiello, anything she touches is just magic. And then shortly after the table read, they let me know that they wanted to rewrite a part for me and have me come in on an audition. And so I auditioned for Flora, and then basically it follows five characters at Grand Army, and they're facing different issues like racism and sexual assault and struggling with sexuality, bullying, kind of finding your identity. And through these five characters, we kind of learn their webs, and it spreads and spreads. It's a really big cast because obviously there's so many kids in public schools a lot of the time in New York City. So kind of how all those stories are interwoven. And yeah, when I read the script for the first time, I couldn't believe how accurate it was. Like, Katie does such a brilliant job of really capturing what it's like to go to school in New York City, and also just in general. Like, I feel like the further we get from adolescence, we tend to dehumanize teenagers, and like young people know what's up. Like, racism, sexual violence, all these things, these are not issues that are exclusive to adults. This is not, these issues are not exclusive to a certain age demographic. So I think the show does a really brilliant job of being authentic and showing people that young people are living fully realized lives, if that makes sense. You know, I actually had a similar experience to Flora when I was in high school. My first boyfriend and I went through a pretty similar experience as Flora and Sid. So it was actually really amazing to read that in the script too, because at the time when I was in high school, if I had seen our situation even relatively reflected on television, it just would have made it a little easier on both of us. And he's like one of my best friends. Like, we love each other dearly, and he's amazing. But you know, when that was happening, it was tough. Like, it's you know, it's a heartbreak is a heartbreak, again, no matter what age you are, no matter where you're at in life. So yeah, I definitely had empathy for Florida because I've been there.
Some days I still feel you here. Are you that far gone? I know you're already sleeping clear. Don't wait too long.
I started writing songs when I was like 11. So I feel like I have trouble with this because I would consider myself an R&B artist, and I think that's where what category people tend to put me in. But I can't tell if that's just what people have told me that I am, and if that's how I feel. Like, I'm so influenced by so many different types of music. Like, the earliest artists that I can remember being obsessed with, like, if I think like way back in the deepest memory that I have, like, the two artists that come to mind are Rod Stewart and TLC. These are two completely different artists, you know. And then I think about, like, who was I obsessed with when I was 12? I'm like, okay, Panic at the Disco and Wisin and Yandhi. Like, these are not I don't know. I don't know if I would categorize any of these artists as under the same genre, but I do think there are similarities in terms of like attention to language and attention to soundscape, and I don't know how detail oriented they are. And
The brisket hit me. It honestly took me out. I wouldn't have felt it, but I see how you let me drown. Like the brisket hit me.
yeah, my single "Took Me Out" is dropping actually at midnight Eastern Standard Time, so I'm really excited about that. And it's my first single off an album that I've been working on for a while now. Yeah, I'm really excited for this to come out because I feel like it's definitely different than anything I've ever done. I wrote it kind of at peak quarantine when we were all locked in our houses. Yeah, I'd come up with this bass part that I just kept thinking about, and then I just made a Logic file on my computer and then threw the vocal over it. Kind of happened simultaneously, and I knew that I wanted like a kind of a pulsing backbeat feel to it. And so I kind of added a mock beat over that, and then once it was, you know, safe to meet with my band, to meet with my co-producers, we kind of started layering the track. And I'm really like, I'm inspired by a lot of different artists, and I tend to just like go with, I'm never trying to like, okay, I want to make this kind of song, if that makes sense.
I hid myself in a big dark room to try and move from this garden of things that you won't resonate with. I would stay in the quiet with you till I can feel this chronic exhaustion from being forgotten. You, I still remember you.
And I'm on Instagram, I'm on all the things, Spotify, Apple Music, everything. Marcela Avelina, so that's one L, and Marcela, one L, and Avelina, it's all under that name. Hi, I'm Marcela Avelina, and you just filled up.